Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Braden, Tim with a wig. This is Second Legacy, and thank you for stopping by. Today, I'm going to take Tim on a journey because NBC just published a report that you are going to have to see this episode to believe, because it turns out that, Tim, Asians are getting fed misinformation for guns, and they're buying them. So what must we do on the left? We must counteract that narrative. We're going to walk through the entire thing. You guys are not going to believe some of the things that are in here. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And if you're loving what we're selling over here, make sure you leave it down in the comments and let us know what you think. So with that said, let's get our sarcasm and our humor tools, because we're going to need it, Tim. Here we go.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready, I think.
Because the misinformation is flowing. It's everywhere. This is number 4. NBC, this is a mainline source publishing this. Gun violence misinformation has found a new home on Chinese language social media, report says. Well, you know how we like reports.
Yeah, we love reports and misinformation.
Oh, the reports. It's so good. It's so good. Let me show you some of the things that are being classified as misinformation by the organization, rushing to get in front of this whole gun buying need of the Asian American community. Listen to this. Growing misinformation about gun violence is permeating Chinese language social media, a new report shows. The report, released Tuesday by the civil rights nonprofit group Chinese for Affirmative Action, pointed to 5 dominant narratives emerging largely on WeChat, including the idea that banning guns is a step towards authoritarianism, while gun ownership represents democracy.
That's actually the truth, but
I mean, it's kind of the truth. Misinformation.
Well, let's see. Did Castro allow the population to own guns? No.
No.
Did Hitler?
No, he did not.
No. Stalin?
No.
No. Mao?
So Mao? Hey, that's China.
It's China.
These are Chinese Americans.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah, unless you're in the service of the communists murdering their own population, you don't really get a gun. And then even if they do give you one, there's still a good chance you're going to wind up in a ditch with one at the back of your head. That's just how authoritarianism and communism works itself out. And it always has. But you know what, Braden? If we it just hasn't been tried right yet.
That's right.
Got to try a little harder.
Right.
Just a little
you just got to do it right.
Yeah.
There's only 100 million dead in 100 years, but we just didn't do it right. If we just tweak that one little widget, we'd be fine.
I mean, who doesn't enjoy a good bread line? You're hanging out with the neighbors.
Love it.
You know,
meet them. Social
you
networking.
can tailgate in the bread line.
Oh,
there's nothing much to eat, but you can just fire up the barbecue grill and get the aroma. I don't know.
That's right.
Anyway.
No, it's good. It's good. I love where your head's at, because I feel like you're primed, because that was just the first thing. The things I'm about to show you, dude,
it gets better.
Oh my God, dude, that was just the tip of the iceberg.
And look, I have an axe to grind with you, because this is really, it's not setting well with me. We open up the video and you're making fun of a wig. I don't wear wigs, Braden. This is my natural hair.
Sorry.
Okay. I just don't have the ball cap on this morning. Now let's go.
Powdered wig. Did you powder it properly?
Of course.
Make sure you don't have lice.
I don't want lice. That's why I don't have hair. I mean, I do have hair. This is my hair. Oh, stop. Just go. That's right. It's confusing.
I gotcha. Okay. I got you. All right. You're just getting in your Second Amendment, your constitutional bona fides on camera. That's all you're doing.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, I got another evidence piece here, Tim, of the misinformation being circulated directly targeting Chinese Americans on WeChat. Oh, this is number 6. Another popular belief that reports surfaced is that U.S. law enforcement isn't obligated to protect people. So gun ownership is a necessary element of self-defense. Yeah.
I'm looking this up.
Should we tell him? Okay, you look. I'll do it. So what Tim's looking up is the actual court case, the Supreme Court case. Please go.
Okay, so this is U.S. Supreme Court ruled in 1989 that the police are not required or obligated under law to protect you. So it isn't misinformation, folks. Look, the folks that wrote this article know it's the truth.
100%.
They know it's the
100%.
truth. They're hoping you don't know it's the truth, and they're trying to feed you misinformation. This article is full of misinformation from the very first part of it that we covered to this part. They're lying. Yeah, this is so insane.
They be fibbing. Yeah, they be fibbing. And again, we aren't even to the underwater part of this article yet. Like this iceberg, we're still on the very tippity top. This is insane. So let me show you why this is such a huge issue for them, Tim. So they've had some 100 posts on WeChat that's been circulated 2 million times, and an estimated 3/4 of the Chinese American community uses the app. So obviously what they're trying to lay out here is the fact that because there's such a high concentration of Asian Americans using WeChat, therefore they can't allow misinformation of what they're classifying as misinformation, which is actually fact, to be permeating a centralized group of that pure of a demographic, which is a new gun buying demographic.
Right.
So they got to get in front of the misinformation by lying.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Listen to this one.
Turn Google off.
This one blew my mind. All right, this is number 8. In some cases, previous experiences with censorship and restrictions of free speech make Chinese Americans vulnerable to such narratives. The belief that gun ownership is an indicator for freedom, for example, often stems from criticism of China's government. Additionally, pro-gun messaging in Western media often warns of the infringement of the Second Amendment and potential dangers of government control, the report says. They literally came from controlled communism under Mao, who killed 100 million people.
Read the Federalist Papers.
God!
It's literally
Dude, it's so
written
bad.
down where the founders' heads were. They absolutely wrote the Second Amendment because they were expressly concerned with government tyranny. It has nothing to do with hunting. It has nothing to do even with self-defense from like a criminal in your next door neighbor's house or something. It is primarily to put the ultimate power of government in the hands of the people. When you take that power away, that is the very definition of tyranny. And I also want to point out that there's multiple Supreme Court cases that reaffirm the notion that the police have and the state has no obligation under U.S. law to protect you. Well, some of those cases go back to 1856. Anyway, let's continue.
No, I think that's an important piece because Tim, you're dispelling misinformation. You're doing the Lord's work in a powdered wig, and I love what you're doing there.
Well, I'm channeling our founders at the moment.
Yeah,
they're speaking to me.
I feel it.
I hear the voices.
I feel it. I support it. I support it wholeheartedly. Well, Tim, we're accelerating quickly to the crazy because we've gotten through a few of the issues.
You mean what we just went through wasn't crazy? Oh, this should be
not
good.
Not yet. We got 2 more, and we're going to culminate. You're going to see it. So this is number 9. This is, again, this whole thing is focused on scaring the Asian American community who had experience and memory and history and family members with Maoist China, where Mao literally said the power, all power comes from the barrel of a gun.
Right.
I mean, like, this is so disconnected from reality, but it's all about the control narrative, right, Tim?
Yeah.
We're getting to why in a second. This is number 9, Dr. Slides. The report, they love reports, pointed out that while only around 10% of Asian Americans own guns, the lowest across all major races, interest in firearms saw a rise after the start of the pandemic. A 2022 study showed that more than half of Asian Americans who purchased a gun since the start of the pandemic were first-time gun owners. Ding, ding. You want to know why they're targeting Asian American community, the Chinese American community? Because they know that once the specter of danger goes away, it's going to catch like wildfire because freedom is intoxicating.
Yeah.
These people they're trying to scare people back into their control boxes is exactly what this is aimed at.
Yeah, it is. It's like, oh, you're being lied to. Guns don't represent freedom. Communism does.
Yes, they do.
It's like having an armed state pointing guns at you is the very definition of freedom, folks. Just get in line.
Look how free you are to do what I tell you to.
There's no such. We don't need individuals. We need a collective, and everybody needs to work together for the common good. And you just don't need guns.
You got to.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
And think about this.
You got to do it.
Many of the folks that they're targeting here, first of all, look, they're not dumb. Right? These people are not dumb. And so they know they're being lied to with this article. They read this article, this is going to be offensive to them. This is going to have the Trump effect, right? The more they post this stupid stuff and lies, the more it's going to push them. We're like, wow, the media is now lying to us. They're scared. We need to exercise our rights. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like every time they drop more indictments against Trump, he goes up in the polls. The left can't seem to figure out when they do these things, they're actually inspiring people to go out and do the things that they don't want them doing.
Well, it's just like when there's a gun control bill introduced. They go out and they inspire another gun buying spree. They do it every single time.
Yeah.
It's,
Clinton,
you
Obama,
can set your clock
Biden.
By it.
Yeah, they're the greatest gun salesmen. Yeah.
It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious because the American people are giving them the old hi-ha just with their wallet and purchasing habits. But anyway.
Every time one of their mouths open up and utter the words gun ban, assault weapons ban, every gun store in America sees a run on firearms.
100%.
They sell
That's
out.
Absolutely correct.
Yep. So
That's absolutely correct.
anyway.
Well, now the culmination. This is where we see the entire enchilada, and they come out and say it, Tim. Remember, this is the let me get the nonprofit group right. Chinese for Affirmative Action. They have some recommendations for gun controllers in order to stem the growth of the Second Amendment in the Chinese American community. Are you ready for them?
Let's hear this one.
Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, this is number 10. Researchers of the CAA, that's the organization, report urged the U.S. government to establish offices aimed at addressing gun violence and implementing policies in a linguistically and culturally competent way. They also recommend gun violence prevention advocates to invest in combating disinformation and misinformation in Asian American communities, and that community organizations should prioritize gun violence prevention in their community safety and justice efforts. And the big payoff is right here at the end. Listen to this quote. They can't take for granted that Asians don't like guns. The gun industry is targeting Asians to buy more guns. Things are changing. Wow.
My goodness. Why do they keep saying the gun industry is doing that? The gun industry is targeting this group. Show me an example of this. Is there an ad I'm missing somewhere where it shows nothing but a bunch of Asian folks in the ad, and they're all like, hey, go out and buy a gun because, the misinformation's out there about it's a democracy thing. What are they talking about? The gun industry's doing this, targeting people for sales. No, they're not. They're just putting guns out for sale, and people decide whether they want them or not. This is
but Tim, gun control organizations and the U.S. government should work to dispel all the things that we just dispelled. They should dispel what we dispelled, and we dispelled what they dispelled. There's a lot of dispelling going on, but the U.S. government should do it because Asians don't like guns. You can't take that for granted. What?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if somebody on the conservative side said, no, guys, don't worry about it. Asians don't like guns.
I know, right?
Oh, my God. And we can't take that for granted.
He'd only make that more offensive if he said Orientals don't like guns.
I mean,
you can't say that anymore, right? So it's just oh, my goodness. Yeah, these people are special. They're very special. They're touched.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane? That's on NBC.
I know. And what's crazy to me is all the things they're labeling as misinformation are clearly the truth.
Are obviously fact.
Right down to Supreme Court decisions that Google hasn't even purged from its searches yet. Oh.
I know. This is so... I guess the thing that shocks me is how brazen and blatant this is. To your point, I can walk through this just off the top of my head and go, lie, lie, lie. Here's where it's a lie. This is where it's a lie. All of these things are abject lies with the sole intent to scare people away from embracing of freedom. And they're saying, well, they're a little sensitive to the idea from their historical memories and lived experiences. You mean when Mao killed 60 million Chinese?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be a little concerned too.
Yep.
God almighty.
And these folks are fleeing a literal communist nightmare. And they get over here and then they run into this nonsense. I mean, we have people speaking out all over the place these days that have grown up and lived and escaped from these regimes that are saying, what are you doing, America? You're worse than North Korea right now. What are you doing? And we still have the leftists in this country going, yeah, this is freedom, folks. This is democracy. It's like, no.
I'm here for democracy.
Yeah. Democracy.
I came for the democracy.
You conservatives don't like democracy. No, because there isn't a single democracy on the planet. Anyway, thank you for watching Second Legacy. We'll talk to you guys soon.